Hello and welcome to the Garden Gurus. I'm Trevor Cochrane. We've got another brilliant spring series for you, packed full of down-to-earth gardening advice. But before we get into it in Australia, I thought, well, we'll take you right around the world to one of my favourite garden shows. Here in Dublin in June, you will experience the Bloom Garden Festival. It is sensational, and that's what we're going to showcase today. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. This year's show features some remarkable gardens, including one inspired by the movie Mamma Mia. There's a sustainable seafood garden that you just have to see to believe. And we'll show you around the many inspiring displays featured at this year's show.
Dig, 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 dig in the ground. I got my spade, I got my hoe, I got my rake, and I'm ready to go.
I first discovered the show back in 2008. It was absolutely amazing. Run by the Irish Food Board. It's a garden and food show. It covers over 70 acres here at Phoenix Park. It's held every year at the end of May, beginning of June. It is absolutely spectacular. Let me show you around. This is a world-class garden event. Over 5 days, it's going to see well north of 120,000 Irishmen and women and a lot of visitors from Australia. And they come here for a very good reason. The displays are sensational. There's 25 show gardens that'll blow your mind, and we'll feature them today. But there's Irish craft on display, botanical art, gardening workshops, fantastic plants for sale from some of the very best breeders in Europe. And then there's the food. Irish food is amazing, and there are so many producers here in the food section. You will absolutely love it. Best of all, you get to taste them. There's even chefs on hand to show you how to best use it. I've been inspired how Irish garden designers have so successfully been able to replicate environments that are completely different to their own. In the past, I've seen African villages replicated, and this year, Ellen Rudden, a Dublin-based designer, has taken on a very big challenge. Life is a Rose by Santa Rita Living La Vid 120 brings the flavours of Chile to bloom this year. Well, Ellen, congratulations. What an amazing garden. It's totally different to anything you'd normally expect to see when it comes to Irish gardens, isn't it?
Yeah, thanks a lot. Look, this is our Santa Rita garden. They're a Chilean wine producer. So we had to bring a small bit of Chile, essentially, to bloom in Ireland for this weekend.
Yeah. Now, I noticed the use of plants is really diverse, certainly not the standard sort of palette of plants that you'd find here in Ireland.
So we've kind of two styles of planting. We've the arid planting, which surrounds the seating area and kind of runs out to the front. And on the outskirts of the garden, we have a Mediterranean-style planting with lots of salvias and tulbagia and white roses dotted through. Yep. And in front here, we have two different size yuccas, yep. One with a stem, one on the ground. Yep. And it's a lovely blue foliage, which kind of bounces really well off the yellow backdrop.
That yellow is a very distinctive colour.
Yeah, that particular yellow was the first element I had in mind before designing this garden. It's a yellow I seen dotted across the hill in Valparaiso in Chile. Yep. Lots of houses use that colour, so it's like, yeah, that colour has to be in the garden. It works brilliant. It gives that South American feel. And you've given people, I suppose, plants that they could use in their own gardens. Yeah, that's the most important thing for us, because you want people to relate to the garden, but we want little elements that they can take home from the show.
The trees, I know Irish strawberry tree.
Yeah, it's an arbutus inedo, yeah. And it's native to Ireland. You find them in Kerry. It's a beautiful strawberry-like fruit, and it's a fantastic tree.
You've retained that classic sort of outdoor lifestyle, a lovely courtyard setting.
Yeah, well, look, al fresco, enjoying the element in the middle was our most important thing, so that was crucial for us to get right. They have a container in the back, which they can get away in the shade and still look into the garden. Yep. And when the sun shines, they come out here and enjoy the central space.
Whilst the theme is Chilean, the concepts within the garden remain unmistakably lifestyle. I love the secluded seating area at the heart of the garden, the ideal space for rest and perhaps a nice little vino. I know you're not meant to have a favourite when you're a TV presenter on a gardening show, but this one ticked a lot of boxes for me. Great cause, industry working together to make it happen, and a character leading the charge. Kieran, congratulations.
How are you? You're very welcome.
Wow, mate, what a fabulous garden. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, the garden is brought to bloom by a cooperative of Kildare growers on behalf of Our Lady's Children's Hospital Garden. And it's a charity that is close to all of our hearts.
So tell us about the inspiration behind the design here. It really is quite unique, a lovely sunken garden, and you've accentuated the depths by raising the sides as well.
I suppose the importance in any garden, and for me, because I love trees, that we have a lot of beautiful trees in the garden. We have a lot of grass that complements that. And then everything else around just all comes together. I suppose it's like a good cake. It's all the ingredients that come together. But by going down half a metre, and the undulating slopes coming up maybe 3/4 of a metre, you're playing with almost 2 metres of different undulating slopes. And that creates the interest as well.
Now let's grab a seat. Tell me about this stone. It's beautiful. There looks like a lot of it.
Yeah, there's 15 tonne of Donegal quartz stone.
Wow.
And it was picked for the colour, but it was also picked for dry stone wall.
Yep. The roof, I noticed your planting there's a very deliberate planting.
Yeah, I suppose the Bellis daisy was to encapsulate the round roof within the garden. And it's within a small space, so we only have 20 metres by 10. And it shows you what any family or anybody can do in a small space if you're creative. And I suppose planning is so important. And right plant, right place.
Now, one of the great things in visiting any garden festival is the idea sharing that goes on, and there are so many good ideas here at Bloom, including this one here. You've got a huge drainage pipe that's been cut and turned into a wonderful seat. It's also the frame for this spectacular garden. It really gives you a terrific viewing point. The show gardens here are broken into 3 categories: small, medium and large. The small garden category is getting a huge amount of attention, and no wonder. This particular one, the growing shed garden, created by Melanie Webb, who's originally from Dublin, well, she's done something really special with this. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I love the rock work. Now, tell me the story behind the rocks.
The stones are Glencree stone.
Yeah.
I wanted to create a feel of Wild Wicklow within a suburban urban space.
Yep. Now, everybody's raving about the shed, so tell us about the shed. What was the inspiration behind it?
The inspiration behind it is because I have a tiny garden and I've already planted practically everywhere. I wanted to have something where I could continue to plant, but that also didn't waste any space.
The hardest designs are always off a small area. How big are we talking about this?
It's 5 by 5.
5 by 5.
And the shed is 7 feet, so it's tiny, but the actual space is 5 by 5. So this is a tiny space, and look what you can do.
There'd be benefits as well, because the plants up there would be, you know, instead of water running off the roof, they'd be cleaning the water at the same time, you know, putting some fresh oxygen into the air.
That's true, and it, you know, it has its drainage system, and the water goes into the water butt on the other side. And so I'm recycling the water. You know, I just think that there's a lot of people with, you know, ugly shed roofs. It doesn't have to be, you know, wasting space. Plant your roof.
Yeah, why not? And I suppose living roofs is not a new thing, but you've kind of done this one differently, haven't you?
It's differently. So it's 4 steps, and within the steps there's 16 trays, and within one tray there's 2 trays, which is easy to take down, put on the potting table and just change. So if something isn't looking well, or if I want to experiment and create and try out new things. So it is really a step towards a greener footprint, this shed.
I think everybody's inspired by what you've created here. Well done. Believe it or not, creating a small garden is much harder than creating a large one. And there are some incredible small gardens here at Bloom. There's a couple I really love, and this one is something special. Peter O'Brien is based in North Wicklow, one of the prettiest places in all of Ireland, and his practice builds gardens right throughout the country. Peter, this is incredible. You've achieved something really remarkable.
Thank you, Trevor. Thank you very much.
How did you conceptualise this whole idea? As kids, I think we all love tree houses.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think it does. And even in adults, it very much appeals to our, I don't know, sense of a separate space.
Yeah.
I've tried to recreate a woodland garden here, and it's very important to use very subtle hints of colour and a little bit of just tried to work with a very muted white palette. But it gives a much more restful environment, and coupled with the stream and that sort of thing, and the tone of the stream and the movement of the plants and everything, gives that lovely contemplative space, really.
And you know, one of the things that I love is the illusion you've created here too. The stream, it looks like it's running through the wall, and I heard that one of the people who work here said, we didn't know we had a stream coming through. Is that what?
Absolutely. The positioning of a mirror of use of mirrors rather in gardens like that, to create a sense of the trompe-l'oeil, the sense of space, is very important that you go to the detail, and that's like in creating a reveal that shows that when it's in the mirror it looks double, so you get the sense of a thick wall. It's not just a facade.
you have nailed it, because that's
Thank
exactly
you.
what you've done there. But the layout in a very small area. How big is the physical area?
It's only 5 by 8.5 metres.
The tree house is incredibly well put together. Inside, it's got a second-storey bedroom, and you can imagine any kid falling in love with this if it was in their backyard. I just loved the rope bridge over the stream. One of the big challenges for anybody setting up a display garden is having mature plants, particularly trees, to really make that aged effect. How good is this? A 500-year-old olive tree, and you can see it's taken off and it's super happy, and it makes the most amazing feature in this display garden, which we are going to feature straight after this break. Now, the show gardens are in many ways the heart and soul of this great festival, but by no means are they all of it. There's so much to see and do. The sculptures here are sublime, and the sculpture garden remains one of the most popular areas at the show. All great shows have a terrific food section, and they've done the food thing super well here. Ireland is known as the home of some of Europe's finest fresh produce, particularly beef, pork and lamb. The exotic mushrooms, the fresh produce and specialty foods on offer is extensive. There's a lot to sample here. Food samples, show bags as well, and the chefs on stage get a lot of attention too. Now, the large Victorian walled kitchen garden is something else, an absolute delight, with its wonderful espaliered apple trees, fruit, vegetables, and these incredible herbaceous borders with wonderful flowers like these lupins. The Plant Village is another destination that highlights Ireland's world-class plant production and provides visitors with plenty of plant inspiration. It includes the village square, where you can pick up plenty of expert advice. There are so many incredible plants here when you start to walk around and see all the different plants, so many rare and unusual ones, things that I'm just not used to seeing. And I could spend all week here. What have we got here?
They're peony roses, they're beautiful. I love peony roses.
So whilst the show is over 70 acres, it's actually held in very beautiful Phoenix Park, which is over 1,752 acres. And it's an amazing landscape here. It's also home to the Irish president. Now, its history goes back a long way. Back in 1600, it was a private hunting reserve, but in the mid-1700s, it was made a very important public park. It is absolutely beautiful and home to a wonderful herd of fallow deer. If you love ABBA, and if you love the movie Mamma Mia, you'll be impressed with this garden. Tunda Sentaishi created a Mediterranean dream. This might as well be the Greek set of the movie, as the garden captures the exotic location of Kellikari, with its beautiful landscape and Greek architecture, including the famous hotel Villa Donna. Tunda, congratulations, what an amazing garden. You must be so happy.
Thank you so much.
Tell me a little bit about the inspiration behind it.
The inspiration was straightforward. The Mamma Mia movie.
Yeah.
I had to create the location of the movie set, which is Kellikari in Greece.
Tell me about the plants, because you've selected these very carefully as well, including that amazing olive tree.
Yeah, you're right. I'm so thrilled and lucky to have this here. I had to talk with the tree fairy to have this tree. It's come from Italy actually, but I have a fantastic nursery behind me.
For a lot of people who know gardens, this would be quite foreign to them. Pomegranates would be even more foreign, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. During the construction time, even colleagues, professionals, nursery people came around and asked me, what is this tree? And I proudly introduced them for the pomegranate world, and they were really happy also.
The logistics of creating, the designing, the conceptualisation, and then the building, how long does it take you to create a garden like this for show?
The process started in last year, November, December, and the concept is kind of came along very easily, and the actual construction was here quite intense, 3 weeks. Without the team who is behind this garden, this atmosphere never ever could happen.
Another important element of recreating this scene was the whitewashed walls and the overall structure. The latest incarnation of Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, is in theatres now right across Australia. And when you go and see it, take into account the work the set designers do to create the perfect setting. And then think of Tunde and her team and what they've created here, because just 3 weeks ago, this was grass. It's an incredible outcome. One of the things I love about this garden is the way they've used water so effectively in a small space to create a really different effect. This frames the garden. The reflections are sensational. The use of colour plants around the outside, things like irises and the beautiful columbines, or aqualegias as we sometimes know them, are wonderful. The biggest highlight for me in this particular garden is the use of trees. They are just gorgeous. One garden that was close to my heart was in the medium-sized garden category. This one was put together by a couple of guys from Manchester, Peter Cowell and Monty Richardson, known as the Hairy Gardeners. Not flattering, but true. The garden in vibrant yellows and oranges was designed to educate about being sun smart, an issue that affects people everywhere, even in Ireland. In fact, skin cancer is the fastest growing cancer in Ireland today. Of course, the overriding message with this garden is being sun smart. So they're encouraging people to use umbrellas, sunscreen, and when it comes to garden design, plant trees. They're the best natural filter of sunlight. Gentlemen, there is so much that I would like to tell you that I love about your garden. But before we go into that, tell me about the foundation.
Okay, so it's the Mary Keating Foundation.
Yep.
Mary was a lady who unfortunately passed away from cancer. And following on from that, they decided to set up a foundation to, help raise awareness in the hope of, sort of saving lives.
Many Australians would know her son, Ronan.
That's right, yeah, he's part of the foundation himself.
Tell me about the garden. It's very much about the journey, and it starts with this pathway, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, that's right. So you start at the start and you find out you've got cancer. It's the shock. The planting scheme sort of ties in with that. Yeah. And then you find out you can be treated, so the ground undulates up. You go through the treatment, and that's a low point because it's tough. Yep. All this time you're stopping at the seating areas and relaxing, taking time to have a break. And then you go back up to the point where you actually beat cancer. And it's just an area there to sit with your friends and family, people who have supported you.
And you've used colours to represent that.
The theme of the garden is yellow, so we had to incorporate as much yellow into the garden as possible.
How long did it take you to build the garden?
Just over 3 weeks in total, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're really happy with the garden. It's come to exactly how we wanted it.
You should be really proud. It's fantastic. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
The two hairy gardeners, you've done a good job.
Thank you, cheers.
When you think of gardens, you rarely think of seafood. But when I saw what Andrew Christopher Dunn was attempting to achieve, well, I was pretty interested as to how he might pull it off. And this is what he's done. The design tells the story from the journey from tide to table, of fish and seafood that surround and inhabit this island. This journey starts in the water and ends on a plate, but it's the multitude of sustainable and ecological practices and methods that are employed to produce this bounty that the garden attempts to highlight. Andrew, what have you done here? This is amazing.
You like it?
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful.
Well, this is the Sustainable Seafood Garden for Bord Iascaigh Mhara, who are the Irish Seafood Development Agency. We want to tell the story about how Irish seafood is being sustainably produced and protected.
You've got a boat.
We have a boat, yeah. As if it wasn't bad enough with all the other things we're planning into garden, we thought, let's stick a boat into it. I thought it'd be an easy thing for me to do, just buy an old boat, slap a bit of paint on it, and by the way, put a kitchen into it. Yeah. But no, it turns out it wasn't that simple.
You even got a chef.
We have a chef, yeah. So George here is going to cook some amazing seafood for us, and that's, we're kind of highlighting what you can do. It's all really a tide to table story. So we have the sea, we have how the food's prepared, and then the end destination, which is the plate that you see behind us.
You've created a beautiful outdoor dining area.
Yes, yeah, well, you see this lovely table which was made again specially for the show. It's actually made of elm, Irish elm, and all elm trees in Ireland died out about 30 years ago with Dutch elm disease. The reason we chose it is it's a poignant reminder that if we don't look after and protect our natural resources, we could lose them.
The black water, it's not black by accident, is it?
Well, yeah, it's a little show garden trick that we use to give us those beautiful reflections that you see and this illusion of depth. So what we do here actually to create that illusion of depth is we dye the water. And what we do is we use a concentrated beetroot juice and we dye the water that black deep colour. And it's great as well for keeping the weeds and algal growth out as well, and it's safe for fish.
Looks absolutely fabulous. Speaking of fish, that little piece of sculpture over there is incredible.
It's there to represent the aquaculture side of things, the farmed fish, which is actually, you know, the world's most promising and fastest growing source of protein as a way to feed the planet.
You've done it really well. Congratulations, mate.
Thank you very much.
So impressed, so impressed. What I love about Andrew's display garden is the enormous thought and effort gone into producing something that will effectively only be on display for just a few days. It's inspiring to see. Of course, all the effort put into creating these gardens is ultimately judged by a group of esteemed international experts. And this year saw a record number of winners. The Best in Show was not a surprise for me. My favourite gold medal winners were and the People's Choice Award, no surprise, Mamma Mia. How special is this garden? No wonder it won Best in Show. If you haven't been to Ireland in the summertime, you really should come. Bloom runs in the first week of June each year, and it is just a stunning gardening show. If you want to see any pictures from today's show, all you have to do is visit our website. And if you want some more information about anything you've seen today, of course, you can get it there, or you can check out the photos that we've got on Facebook. I'm Trevor Cochrane. We'll see you next week for our second episode in spring of The Garden Gurus.